Well, hello and welcome to November's City Courtyard Garden. I'm Richard Keogh, and this is the fourth video I've done, and the second month in which I've been doing this video blog. This month I'll be talking about compost. I talk a lot of compost most of the time, but this seemed to be the theme of this month's video. So if you'd like to follow me, and I'll show you what I've been up to. Follow me. Last month, you may recall, I planted these cabbages. We've had high winds and this fleece tent had become undone. I want to check now how these cabbages have weathered the attack from my giant slugs. They look good, don't they? I'm happy with that. This is my sad compost bin. It's actually an upturned waste bin with the bottom cut out. It's rather full, so I'll need to give it a push down. I'll lift up the bin and look at the beautifully rotted compost. That's all very well, but it's difficult to get out without making a mess. The problem is, where do I put it? I have a secondary compost heap where I put my compost when it comes out of this bin. Here's the problem. I take it from here and I put it over here. It's a mess. So I want to do something about it. Now, I need a little inspiration. That's what I need. Right. I need to dig out the old compost heap. These twigs don't compost well, and I will need to go down to the garden waste collection point at the recycling centre. Now for the softer, well-rotted tilth, well, I will put into the wheelbarrow and the garden bag. There we go. I'll put this into place. That looks good. Now I can put the well-rotted tilth in first before I put the less rotted compost on top. Now, back to my old compost bin. I aim to keep this as my primary rotting bin. Now I need to empty some of the contents to make room on the top. I just need to put this down into place. I just need to put this into a new compost bin. Now, I need to reseat the bin again and tidy up around it. You might recall I planted this purple sprouting, and you might also recall that I once said, once you've had potatoes, you've always got potatoes. And guess what? They've started growing again, and I really don't need them. Last year I had some onions growing here, and I had an incidental crop of potatoes from the potatoes I had the previous year. This is the third year they've made an appearance. Guess where they're going? In the compost heap, of course. Waste not, what not? Still got some potatoes coming out of here. In my newly laid herb garden, I have potatoes growing here as well. They're coming out. This is my blueberry bush. It's in a pot because it needs ericaceous compost. What will do it good is to fertilise it and to top it up with more ericaceous compost ready for the winter. Now, this evergreen may well supply me with some acidic fertiliser. It worked last year, and it saves sneaking into a coniferous woodland and sneaking out with some leaf litter. There's enough to put around the pot, and I'll top it up with ericaceous compost. I just need to take out some weeds that are taking root. I also want to check if the roots are coming out of the bottom. If there are roots coming out the bottom, I'll need to repot into something bigger, but there seems to be no roots coming out, so I'll dig a hole and sink it into the herb garden. Finally, I'll top it up with ericaceous compost. And that's all I'm going to do with this garden for the moment. The tree is now lost most of its leaves after the heavy winds we've had in the last week or two. But what I would like to do today is plant a garlic. And so, one garlic, and what I'm going to do is to plant it in the square foot garden. Now, the theme seems to be compost this month, and today will be no exception, because over there in the wormery we set up last month, there's some things happening. So with no more ado, one job will sort of lead on to another, if you understand what I mean. So first of all, we're going to have a look at the square foot garden. Right, you may recall that this Swiss chard is going to come out now. It's done its job, and this is going to go into the wormery and feed that along with some kitchen waste. That's what we'll do. We'll pull these out. Oh, it's just almost a shame to see these go. They're getting a bit old, and actually, I don't know why we've grown them really, because I haven't used much of them. Anyway, we've got a big buggy thing here. Look at that. Can you see that? Oh, I don't know what that is. Anyway, right, and oh, a purple sprouting there. That looking very good. Right, we've got our plot here ready to go. What I will do is probably add a little of the chicken pellets, which I'll do now. You may recall from the last month's video that I'd started off a new wormery, but what came out of the wormery was this really mucky stuff, which has got a little bit wet and a bit stinky. Well, this together with some chicken pellets should really make. Well, there's another one of those furry things. Should really fertilise this bit of soil. There we are. Do the trick. Now it's really rather messy and gunky, and I'm going to have to put my hands in this. Not very nice. Don't want that bit in there. Right. Here's the garlic. You see, I'm going to take take them all apart. I can put the whole garlic in if I wanted to, but each clove will grow anyway. So, oops, I dropped one there. Okay, split them apart and put those in. Alright, here we go then. One, I'll put them right into the ground, and making sure they're standing up quite erect. Deep into the ground. Cover that up. Now, I should have enough for a patch. I've actually got another garlic in here, but I'll just stick with one for the moment. Ooh, that is really stinky. It's like going to, well, there we go. That will keep them fairly warm for the winter. I need something to weight that down because there we go. That's good. Right, once the winds come, you see, it's going to blow that around, but it gives you a bit of light and it gives it a bit of protection as well. So I'm going to bring down the cage again. The reason I have that cage is that there is a cat. We have a cat, and the cat will go onto the garden, and cats being cats think this is a great big litter tray. They love it. So that's why I have this big box construction here. Pull that into place. Whoops. There we go. Be careful not to hinder the purple sprouting. That's in place. Job done. Here we have the wormery again, as you remember. I set it up in the last video, and you will notice also that this bottle is really rather full. And maybe that's because we've had a bit of rain. The rain gets in the top and just washes everything through. I don't really want that to happen. I just want only the natural juices from the worm. So I'm afraid this is not a good batch, but nonetheless we'll save that anyway. Trouble is we're getting lots and lots and lots of milk cartons full of worm tea, and when we come to do watering at some time or other in the new season, we'll put a bit of that in just to fertilise the water, and pour it on the flowers and everything else. It makes a very good display. Right, okay. Now looking inside the wormery, it's looking really rather sludgy and horrible. Beautiful. There's a couple of things to put in. I hope this all fits. If it does, it's going to be like the TARDIS. There we go. I was going to put some kitchen waste in there, I think at this stage it won't be enough room. So yeah, fed the wormery. That will rot down in its own time. The worms will do their bit, and out will come the worm tea. Right, there we go. Put the top on and put the cover on as well, because I don't want the rain to get through, but the wind will blow it off probably. You'll notice that it's having a bit of difficulty, isn't it, getting on there. You'll notice it's painted black, and that's quite important that it's dark. Trouble is, this plastic here that's made of is rather susceptible to being broken down by the sun, and it gets very brittle, so I may have to make another one in the not too distant future. This is my final edition. Whoops. That to go over the top, just to stop the rain from falling in, and that's that bit done. On the patio here we have some aubrietia. Now you'll notice that that one seems to be much more happy than that one. The reason is we did an experiment. Well, that's to say, my partner, she tried some growing inside and some growing outside. I'm not too sure which is which, but I think that's the outside growing one. It looks much happier in the colder weather than the inside growing one, so both of them are brought out. So under clotches just to protect them, and come the spring they'll go in, and maybe by May we'll have a tremendous looking display of aubrietia along the bed behind us.